Merhaba. Hello, my name is Mark Stansfield. I'm the Senior International Officer here at the University of Glasgow. This is going to be a short introductory presentation, giving you some general information about the university. So I'll begin by giving a little bit of an overview of the university, talking about where we are geographically in the UK and in Scotland. I'll then talk a little bit about the subjects that we teach at Glasgow, along with some information on how to apply scholarships and funding opportunities. And then I will also include a little section on what we're doing as a university to deal with the worrying ongoing global pandemic that is the coronavirus. So I would just like to begin by giving a little bit of a general introduction to the university. So the University of Glasgow is one of the UK's ancient universities, and we were established back in 1451. Now there are 6 ancient universities in the UK. There are 2 in England, Oxford and Cambridge, and there are 4 in Scotland. So as well as the University of Glasgow, there is the University of Edinburgh, the University of Aberdeen, and the University of St Andrews. Also just highlighted on that slide is our high level of graduate employability at Glasgow. So just under 96% of our students are in employment or further study within 6 months of graduating. So a very high figure, and something that reflects the work that we're doing as a university in terms of links with industry and making sure that our teaching and our research is really cutting edge, and making sure that our students are ready to go into the world of work or further study after graduating. The University of Glasgow is one of the world's top 100 universities, and is ranked in the top 100 of the Times Higher Education World Rankings, and we're also ranked 67th in the QS World Rankings as well. We are a very international university at Glasgow, and as you'll see there, the Times Higher Education Rankings last year put us as the 29th most international university in the world. We have approximately 29,000 students studying with us at Glasgow from over 140 different countries. Of that population, over 7,000 are non-EU international students. So a very, very vibrant community with students and staff from all over the world, which makes for a fantastic learning environment with everyone bringing different perspectives and different cultures to the campus. The university is also a member of the prestigious Russell Group, which is a group of research-intensive and highly ranked universities in the UK, and the University of Glasgow was a founding member of the Russell Group. Now, as a Turkish student considering studying abroad, you will have a number of different factors to be considering. So what country do you want to study in? What type of university do you want to go to? The subject or discipline area will be a big driver as well. So which universities specialise in the area that you're interested in studying, whether that be at undergraduate level, bachelor's level, at master's or research. And another factor to be considering is also rankings. So as I've mentioned, the University of Glasgow has a very high overall world ranking. But I also just wanted to pull out some of the key subject areas that we are particularly highly ranked in. So as you'll see, we're ranked first in the UK according to the Complete University Guide of 2020, as being first in the UK for subjects such as veterinary medicine, dentistry, accounting and finance, and education, film and television studies. Also top 3 in the UK for some subjects such as medicine and law, and a number of engineering programmes as well. So yeah, very highly ranked in a number of areas, but I just wanted to pull out some key areas and some key rankings by college, just to give you an idea of some of the areas that Glasgow is particularly well known for. Now, as I mentioned, the university has been around since 1451, and in that time we like to think that we've had a pretty significant impact on the world in terms of our students and our staff and the work that they have done over the years. So I've just pulled out some notable alumni that you may or may not be familiar with. So Adam Smith, who was the founder of modern economics and the author of Wealth of Nations, was a student and a member of staff at the University of Glasgow. James Watt and Lord Kelvin for any scientists, engineers. So James Watt was a key figure in the Industrial Revolution, and Lord Kelvin developed the Kelvin temperature scale. John Logie Baird, who in 1926 invented the television. Joseph Black, who introduced our modern understanding of gas, as well as a number of Nobel laureates that you'll see, so 7 who have passed through the university's famous gates. But on top of that, we've had a number of other impacts on the world. So back in 1867, John McIntyre opened the world's first X-ray department. In 1867, Joseph Lister published research on the use of antiseptic in surgery. More recently, in 1958, Ian Donald showed the first ultrasound image of a fetus, of an unborn child. And only 5 years ago, Sheila Rowan led the Glasgow team that first detected gravitational waves. So we've had a really big impact on our world-changing staff and students, and we are very much looking forward to continuing to welcome the next generation of world changers who will go on to really help shape the world around us. Now, the University of Glasgow is located in the country of Scotland, which is in the north of the UK. Now, I am biased because I'm Scottish and I'm from Glasgow, but Scotland was voted the most beautiful country in the world last year by Rough Guides. And there's so much to get involved in as a student in Scotland. It's a relatively compact country with good transport links, so it's easy to get around and explore different cities and different parts of the country. There's lots of outdoor activities to get involved in, so mountain climbs, and the background image there is Ben Ann, which is a common mountain climb that many people do, particularly during the summer when the weather is nice. Scotland is also famous for its culture, so fantastic art scene, live music, theatre, comedy. A number of festivals run in the city of Glasgow throughout the year, so literature festivals, film festivals, music festivals, and Edinburgh, which is the capital city of Scotland, hosts the world's largest arts festival each year, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Now, Glasgow is the biggest city in Scotland by population, but Edinburgh is the capital city. But it's really, really easy to get between both cities. There are at least 4 trains run every hour, and it takes under 1 hour to get between the two cities. So it's really, really easy to explore. And Scotland is famous for its history as well. We have some spectacular architecture and amazing scenery, castles, and really underpins why Scotland is such a popular tourist destination for students and tourists alike. Now, Glasgow, as I've mentioned, is the biggest city in Scotland. Glasgow, according to Time Out magazine, was ranked in the top 10 best cities in the world last year, and was also named the world's friendliest city. And that is something that we always get in feedback from our international students. They say that they feel both Scotland and Glasgow in particular is a very welcoming city and a welcoming place, and that local people are very friendly. Glasgow is the 4th largest city in the UK, so behind London, Birmingham and Manchester. You'll then find Glasgow, which is well known for its shopping. Glasgow is a former industrial city, so shipbuilding was the main industry in years gone by on the River Clyde, which runs right through the city. But it is also a very green city, so the name translates loosely in Scottish Gaelic as Deer Green Place, and we will have over 90 green spaces, parks throughout the city, including Kelvin Grove Park, one of the largest, which just borders the university campus. Glasgow is also a UNESCO City of Music, and the hydro image there, which is the green and blue one lit up, is the 4th busiest arena in the world. Questions I'm often asked by Turkish students thinking about studying in Scotland and Glasgow is concerns about accents. I would say that if you understand me in this presentation, then you will be okay. As I mentioned already, we also have academics from all over the world teaching on our programs at Glasgow. So yeah, I think when you've been in Scotland for a short period, you begin to get used to the Scottish accent, and you might even pick up some Scottish words as well. The second issue is often about the weather. I would say that we do get a reasonable amount of rain in Glasgow, but as long as you bring a waterproof jacket and some sweaters with you, you will be absolutely fine. We don't get very extreme weather here. It does get colder in the north, in the Highlands of Scotland, but in Glasgow, often we're a few degrees lower than London and some of the other cities in England. So provided you come prepared, you will be absolutely fine. Now, the University of Glasgow is located in the west end of the city. So if you were walking from the city centre to the university, it would take you approximately 30 to 40 minutes. If you were taking the bus, around 10, 15 minutes, and the same on the underground. So we have a subway network in Glasgow, which will take you from the west end into the city centre. The West End is a very international part of the city, obviously with the university being there. There are lots of really nice cafes, boutique shops, restaurants that you can enjoy, and lots of cultural attractions as well, like the Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and Museum, Kelvin Grove Park that I already mentioned, cinemas, lots of restaurants, so a real bustling and interesting part of the city. Now, in the next slide, this is an aerial shot of the main campus of the university. So the main building there is the Sir Gilbert Scott building. And if you have been on the University of Glasgow website before or read any of our literature, you'll probably be familiar with the famous Tower building that you see there. We also have a 13-floor library with over 2 million books and special collections, and 3 museums based around campus as well. So as you'll see from that image, we are within the city, but all of the buildings and departments are all within walking distance around the hub of University Avenue, which cuts through the West End. At Glasgow, we are also very excited about our campus development project, which is underway at the moment. As a university, we're investing £1 billion in expanding our campus, and this is a development that really hasn't been seen of a UK city university in the last 100 years. We are so excited about the opportunities that this will give us as a university and really enhance that world-leading reputation that we already have. We will have large interdisciplinary research spaces that are designed to stimulate collaboration across different areas and disciplines or with industry, and also really modern study spaces, technology-enabled teaching, and a really nice blend of those old, beautiful buildings that you might have seen already on those slides, but also with some of the most exciting and innovative facilities that you will see of any UK university. And in the next slide, just giving a hint of what will be happening. So we will have a new James McEwan Smith Learning Hub, which will be the first to open. And then as you'll see over the years, there are a number of different phases. So for any undergraduate students, prospective master's students, research students, over the next few years, we will have a new business school, a new College of Arts, a new School of Engineering, a new Centre for Chronic Disease Research, an Institute for Health and Wellbeing, and our innovation zone developing our work with industry and with employers. So a very exciting time to be thinking about joining Team U of G. Now, to talk specifically about our links with Turkey, the University of Glasgow has a long-established relationship with Turkey, which dates back to the late 18th century when we welcomed our first students to study with us. Currently, we have in the region of around 45 students from Turkey studying with us across all levels, at undergraduate level, and also Masters and PhD, including a cohort of students who are sponsored by the Ministry of Education in Turkey as well. We have a partnership with Bilkent University in Ankara and have done for almost 10 years. And we're also a member of the Association of Turkish Alumni and Students in Scotland. And that's a network where current students and former Turkish students that have studied in Scotland keep in touch. They organise social events, they have online networking events. So a really good opportunity to engage with other Turkish students who are studying in Scotland, but also good for future opportunities in terms of developing networks when it comes to looking for future employment or work opportunities. We also have a dedicated Turkish Student Society at Glasgow as well, which is run by our Turkish cohort currently. They organise a number of social events, organise welcome events, farewell events at the end of term. Another example is that the Turkish hockey team were playing in the European Championships in Glasgow last year, and the students went along to support the team. So just to highlight that there is a network of Turkish students at the university that you can keep in touch with and arrange to go for some nice Turkish food at one of Glasgow's Turkish restaurants. Now, to talk a little bit more about the structure, so being an ancient university, we have a college structure at Glasgow. So we have 4 colleges, so the College of Arts and Humanities, the College of Medical, Veterinary and Life Sciences, the College of Science and Engineering, and the College of Social Sciences, which also includes our triple accredited Adam Smith Business School as well. Now, we teach a broad area of subjects, as I've already alluded to in this presentation, so everything across arts and humanities, languages, literature, music, theatre studies, business, accounting, finance, a broad range of business and management, accounting, finance and economic related programmes, computing science, education, engineering, law, medicine. We have one of the largest medical schools and most prestigious medical schools in Europe. Politics, international relations, psychology, sciences across chemistry, physics, biology, biological sciences, and also veterinary sciences as well. So a broad range. But you will find a lot more information about that on our website. And also BEB colleagues will be happy to help talk to you a little bit more about all of the course options that we offer at the University of Glasgow. Now, to talk a little bit about our undergraduate degrees, now as an ancient university, we refer to our undergraduate or bachelor's programmes as MA programmes, which I know can be a little bit confusing. But just to explain, we have 3 degree options for the non-vocational subjects, so excluding things like medicine, dentistry, nursing and things like that, teaching. So the MA within the College of Arts, we have an MA Social Sciences within our College of Science and Engineering, and a BSc, which is a Bachelor of Science from Science and Engineering. So that's a question that can make things a little bit confusing if you're looking at other UK universities, but just to explain that the ancient universities do things a little bit differently. In Scotland at bachelor's level, we study for 4 years rather than 3, which you might find in other parts of the UK. Now, this slide is just to try and explain what that means. So in this example, the student has applied for a joint degree in business management and Spanish. In first year, we tend to study 3 subjects, and then we do the same again in second year, but you have the opportunity to change. So this student has applied for business management with Spanish, but has decided to study history as an extra class in year 1. Then in year 2, decided to leave history to one side for whatever reason, and try music. Then in years 3, we have junior honours, where you then begin to just specialise in those 2 subjects. And in year 4, you then have your senior honours with your final project. And this student would graduate with an MA honours in business management and Spanish. But this is just to try and highlight the flexibility that the Scottish system allows. You can try and test out different subjects. You can change combinations if you decide that you want to try something different. So one of the real benefits of the Scottish system is that flexibility. And it's something that employers tend to really value as we produce graduates who have a broad background. There are some exclusions to this flexibility. So some of the professional and accredited degrees follow a more rigid structure. But for many of our degrees, that flexibility and adaptability and chance to move around is key. Now, to touch upon our undergraduate entry requirements for applicants from Turkey, we do accept the Turkish high school diploma for entry to year 1 at Glasgow. Generally, our minimum requirements, we're looking for students to have achieved at least 75% in your high school qualification, with at least 75% in any key subjects. And again, those key subjects are outlined on each of the programme pages on our website. We also accept A-levels and IB, as well as AP and SAT examinations as well. And the entry requirements just vary slightly from programme to programme. So at A-levels, it's generally between an A and 2 Bs to 3 As, or at IB, minimum 32. For many courses, it's closer to 36 or 38 points that we are normally looking for. For any students doing the Turkish high school diploma who are likely to score less than 75%, it's just to mention that we also work with Kaplan International Colleges, and we have our Glasgow International College. And this allows students who perhaps haven't quite met our requirements for direct entry to come and do a foundation programme at Glasgow International College. And what this means is it's just that you do a slightly different first year. So you would study year 1 at Glasgow International College on either the business and social science route or the science and engineering route. And provided you pass and meet the minimum requirements, you would then progress to year 2 of the programme at the University of Glasgow. So your degree will always be 4 years. You just do a slightly different year 1. At postgraduate level, we welcome students with a CGPA minimum of 3.0 out of 4 to apply to Glasgow. Now, again, those requirements can vary from programme to programme. For some of our very popular programmes, sometimes it is a little bit more competitive, but generally we're looking for a minimum of 3.0 out of 4. And for any research students, generally we're looking for students to have a master's degree already, and BEB are very well equipped to help you to apply for a PhD at Glasgow. They have successfully counselled a number of students in recent years who have come and are now studying PhDs at Glasgow. They will talk you through the process of finding a supervisor and then how to apply. So please do get in touch with the team at BEB if you need any help with that. Similarly, we also again work with Kaplan and our Glasgow International College, and we offer a number of pre-masters programmes. So again, for any students whose GPA falls below our direct entry requirements, they could do a 1-year preparation pre-masters at Glasgow International College and then progress directly to our postgraduate degree at the University of Glasgow. But again, the link there to Kaplan International College's Glasgow at the bottom of the slide will give you a lot more information about that. We also need students to demonstrate their level of English language. So we accept a number of different qualifications at Glasgow. The most common that you're probably familiar with is the Ielts Test. For most subjects, we look for a minimum score of 6.5 overall, with no subtests less than 6. So we need you to have at least 6 in each of the 4 components of the test. But at Glasgow, we do also accept IB TOEFL, we accept the Cambridge English Language Test, Pearson Academic. So we have a number of requirements, but again, just check on each individual programme page because we have some higher requirements for certain subjects. So again, just be mindful of that when you're researching. We do also offer a number of pre-sessional English programs. So if your English score is a little bit below our requirements, or if you feel like you would benefit from a little bit of pre-sessional English before your course begins, we run a number of different programs from 10 weeks up to 36 weeks that you could come a little bit earlier before term starts and do a period of English language before the program teaching actually begins. Now on to tuition fees. So on this slide, I cover the undergraduate bachelor's tuition fees for each year of study for the forthcoming academic year. As you'll see, for most of our courses, it varies between around £18,000 to £21,000 per year of study. For our clinical programs, as you'll see, the fees there are much higher, and that's just linked to the clinical element and the involvement of clinical placements within the National Health Service. At postgraduate level, again, our fees vary from college and programme, but generally somewhere between, on average, £18,000 to around £26,000, depending on the programme. And again, on each individual programme page, you will find more detailed information on the fees for that particular programme. As a university, we're also committed to providing scholarship opportunities to students so that we can broaden out the opportunities for students who do want to come and study at a World Top 100 university. At undergraduate level, we offer undergraduate excellence scholarships of £5,000 per year of study. Those are awarded on academic merit. So we will be looking at your high school qualifications, whether it be Turkish diploma, APs or SATs, IB or A levels. And if you're a high achieving student, you will automatically be considered for one of these £5,000 scholarships. So as I say, you get those for each year of study, so equating to a total of £20,000 and often to at least or more than a full year of tuition. So have a look again on the scholarships page about that. At postgraduate level, we also have some £10,000 international leadership awards, as well as some country-specific scholarships. For some programmes, we have £10,000 scholarships, £7,000 scholarships, £5,000, and we are also part of a number of external scholarship processes, such as Chevening. And as I mentioned, we have a number of sponsored students from the Ministry of Education in Turkey who are currently studying with us. So please just check the scholarship webpage for more information. Just to finish up, I have a couple of final slides. I want to talk a little bit about living expenses, something disposable city in the UK for students. So really interesting that being one of the biggest, we're also one of the most affordable. Now, this is a very, very rough guide that we've developed with some current students. I think that you could comfortably live for a little bit less than this each month. Equally, depending on you and your own interests, you could easily spend more than this. But this is a rough guide that we've developed. The main outgoing really being accommodation each month, and I'll talk about that in the next slide. But also there's some information about things like clothes and entertainment. Do you really need to be spending that much each month? It really depends on you and what you want to do. But hopefully this will give you a rough idea of the kind of monthly living costs at Glasgow. We also have a dedicated university accommodation for both postgraduate and undergraduate students, as well as some family accommodation. We guarantee a place in this accommodation for all international students, provided you've applied by the deadline, which is normally August each year before the course beginning in September. All of the residences are within walking distance of the campus, so on average between 10 to 20 minutes walk all around the west end of the university. And the fee includes utilities, contents insurance, Wi-Fi and off-peak gym membership. We also have trained pastoral staff living in each of the residences as well. So yeah, lots more information on the accommodation website where you can have a look at each of the options. There are some ensuite rooms where if you maybe wanted to have your own shower and your own bathroom facilities, often you would be sharing a kitchen and living space. And we do have one catered residence at Glasgow as well, but the vast majority you would have a kitchen, and the expectation is that students would want to cook their own food. And again, that can be interesting if you're living with students from other parts of the world. Maybe people want to take turns to cook their own local cuisine. And it can be a really nice way to get to know people and make friends. We do also offer a lot of support at Glasgow as well. So we have an Ask a Student service, which you can speak to current students to ask them questions about their experience at Glasgow. We also provide a lot of support on the visa side of things, as do colleagues at BEB in Turkey, who are across all offices, are very experienced in terms of helping students applying for visas. We have a dedicated international student support team who can help you before arriving in Glasgow and also while you're here. We have a doctor's surgery on campus, a disability service, a careers service who can help with internship and job opportunities. We have counselling and psychological services, a chaplaincy service for students of all faiths or students of no faith, and also some English language support that if you felt you needed that, you can absolutely avail of. As well as the Turkish Society, there are so many different clubs and societies you can get involved in at Glasgow, lots of sports teams. And students tend to find it's a really welcoming environment where it's very easy to get to know people between your classes, your societies, your residences, and very quickly you build up a network of friends within Glasgow. In terms of how to get here, when I travel to Turkey, I tend to fly from Edinburgh Airport rather than Glasgow because there is a direct flight with Turkish Airlines to Istanbul. If you wanted to fly from Glasgow, you would probably have to fly via London or via Amsterdam or Frankfurt. But in the summer months, there is actually some direct flights from Glasgow to Izmir. But generally speaking, Edinburgh with Turkish Airlines is the most common route. And there is a bus that leaves from Glasgow city centre and goes straight to Edinburgh Airport and vice versa. So it's really, really easy to get both from Glasgow to Edinburgh Airport and from Edinburgh Airport to Glasgow. The journey takes around 1 hour. Now, I just wanted to dedicate this final section of my presentation to address any current applicants or any students who are thinking about applying to Glasgow for this year. We understand that the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic is a real sense of worry in so many different ways across the world as cases rise and countries go into lockdown. And we understand that for prospective students, this is particularly worrying. You've perhaps been planning your studies for so long and ready to make the move to international study overseas. And it's very common that you will have lots of worries and lots of concerns. So I just wanted to highlight some of the things that we're doing as a university to support our applicant pool at this very difficult time. So I just took a screenshot just to let you know that we have set up a dedicated coronavirus microsite on which you can access from the university homepage. On there, we have a Q&A session with our Vice Principal of External Relations, the Principal of the University, as well as the representatives from across the university who have answered questions in April from students. We also have dedicated pages for prospective students where we're talking about the support that we're providing for students around concerns you might have about being able to provide us with transcripts or copies of your school leaving certificate and your grades. So we're being as flexible as we can around all of these things at the moment and just doing all we can to support you as applicants. I know that many students have worries about being able to travel internationally anytime soon. And with that in mind, as a university, we are considering currently our start dates for term. We are scenario planning, contingency planning. At the moment, we're working towards beginning term in September, but it might be more realistic that we might have to push back the start of teaching term a little bit, or perhaps begin with a very short period of online teaching for a number of weeks before it is then safe for students to travel to the UK. We will also be very mindful of other restrictions. So we're working very closely with the government and other institutions in the UK to talk about things like social distancing when it is finally safe to teach again on campus. So please do check these websites, check the FAQ section, which we are updating on a regular basis. We also have lots of information on what the university and particularly our medical school are doing in terms of leading the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. So the University of Glasgow will host Scotland's leading and central COVID-19 testing facility. We are leading research on the response to the coronavirus. So on our website, again, you can read about lots of the good work that we are doing as a university, both our staff and our students. We've been overwhelmed by just, the support that everyone at the university community has provided. Our students have set up charities to support those in need. Academics and students from our School of Medicine, Veterinary and Life Sciences, our nursing students have gone to the front line and are working in hospitals and leading the fight against this coronavirus pandemic. We understand it's a really worrying time. and you probably will have lots of questions. So this is just to highlight that we also have an Ask a Staff and Ask a Student section. So if you navigate to that on the website, you will have a chance to speak to myself and other colleagues across the university and current students who will hopefully be able to answer any questions that you might have. We also understand that at the moment it's very difficult for students to be taking English language tests with test centres being shut. And as a result, we're doing a lot to try and facilitate and be as flexible as we can be about that. So a couple of things we're doing is that we are allowing students who have taken more than one Ielts test to combine those. So if you've taken 2 within 6 months, and if you combine both and you meet our requirements, we will accept that. We are extending the validity of Ielts tests as well, so we're extending that out. Previously, they were only valid for just over 2 years, and we're expanding that out to over 4 years now. There is also an online Ielts indicative test. We haven't committed to accepting that yet. We're still doing a little bit of work around that, but if we do make any announcement on that, we will update you on our website. We're also accepting the TOEFL at Home test, TOEFL My Best, which again allows you to combine a couple of different tests if you meet the requirements. And similarly, we are extending the validity of the test. We are also accepting Duolingo English test as well. And again, more information about the requirements can be found on the webpage, which is linked at the top of the slide. And we're also being a little bit more flexible about some of the other qualifications. So if you have studied already a degree in an English-speaking country, or a degree in English, then we're being more flexible and we will accept that in lieu of you having to take another English language test. So the finer detail is on the website. Again, similarly, colleagues at BEB know the details and they will be more than happy to help if you have any questions. This is to highlight that these changes are for this year only currently, and it's just to support those students who are having difficulties in taking tests at the moment. I wanted to just finish up by leaving some contact details of the team at BEB. I work very, very closely with the counsellors at each of the offices. So as you'll see, BEB have offices in Istanbul, in Ankara and in Izmir. I have visited all 3 of the offices numerous times myself. The team are really friendly. They're so knowledgeable about applying to study in the UK and in Scotland, and have been great at helping a number of Turkish students in recent years realise their dream of studying at the University of Glasgow. So I just wanted to finish up by thanking you for your time today, for watching today's presentation. Please do keep safe, look after yourselves at what I know is a very difficult time at the moment. I've left my contact email address up on the final slide as well, so please do keep in touch. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help, and I do hope that whenever it is safe to do so, I will be returning to Turkey very soon, and I hope to meet with many of you there. So thank you very much, take care, and we hope to welcome you to the University of Glasgow very soon. Thank you.